trotted on and forgotten. Get off your knees, for heaven's sake, as West Monster only takes and takes. It's time to join our team, Scottish resistance. We have a choice. It's our voice, so scream and shout. Let it out, don't be shy. Freedom cry. Oh, being oppressed is not your interest. Poverty is bad, it's so hard. Children starve. What will it take for the Tories to annihilate working family? Can't you see Scotland needs to be free? It's time to join our team, Scottish resistance. We have a choice. It's our voice, so scream and shout. Let it out, don't be shy. Freedom cry. Taxes we pay is a sham. Carbon zero is a scam. As they give out oil field licenses, we'll have no money. It's time to join our team, Scottish resistance. We have a choice. It's our voice, so scream and shout. Let it out, don't be shy. Freedom cry. Freedom cry. Freedom cry. Freedom cry. It's time to join our team, Scottish resistance. We have a choice. It's our voice, so scream and shout. Let it out, don't be shy. Freedom cry.
Good evening, folks. It's the Scottish Resistance Chat Show on the 8th of April. I'm going to go around the panel tonight. Start off with Wendy McDonald. Wendy's one of our regulars on the panel. How are you doing tonight, Wendy?
Hiya, James. I am fine, thanks. It was good to see you at the weekend there. Nice to be on
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, it was a good wee event up there at Arbroath. That was everybody was in a great mood. And what a great event that was. We had. We were at the Abbey, and we were also down at the statue just as you enter Arbroath with the king and the guy holding up the Declaration of Arbroath, and everybody was
Uh-huh.
crowded around with lots of good photographs. Now you were involved in a wee incident with the police, weren't you, Wendy? Which I'm going to
I,
talk about soon.
I'm
And
a pure,
also we've also got James Morton here, who was also involved in the incident and was arrested. That's something we'll be talking about in a wee while. So we've got Wendy McDonald and James Morton. They go regularly and put banners up in Kilmarnock, don't you guys?
We do
Yeah, that's great.
every Thursday, 10 o'clock to 12.
We've got one other person on tonight. It's supposed to be Dave Llewellyn, but it's Davina, isn't it?
Davina, yes, Davina.
Davina therapist.
I woke up this morning feeling like a woman, and I usually wake up feeling like a woman, but there's never anyone there. So this morning I decided I'm going to come out of the closet and finally accept myself for who I am.
Oh my God. Oh, right, okay, Davina, we'll come back to you in a wee while. Right, the first subject tonight, guys, is the worldwide condemnation of the SNP hate crime bill. Now, just to put you in a picture of this bill that came out on the 1st of April, came out the right bloody day, April Fool's Day. Honestly, there has been news reports in just about every country in the world. I've seen lots of news reports in America, Canada, Australia. And guys, they're laughing at this bill that's been brought out by the SNP. You know, I don't recognise this party anymore. This party that I supported since way back in the 1970s up until fairly recently, I just don't recognise them anymore. What the hell are they trying to do? Are they trying to lose votes? Are they trying to lose votes? I don't know. Anyway, as I say, we've had news reports in America. There's lots of them. News reports in Canada, news reports in Australia, all over, and people are laughing at this bloody stupid bill that's been brought in by the SNP. So let's have a wee chat about this. Let's first of all go to Davina. What's your take on that? What's your take
You
on that?
mistaken me, bigot. Use my dead name.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone should be free to be who they want. Just it's kind of difficult to be someone else. You can see here, I'm sitting here, Wendy's sitting there. It's kind of obvious who's the woman.
But see
Well,
that
the
point
vote-
you made there. The point you made there about you can be who you want to be. We all remember George Galloway identified as a cat.
Would you like me to be the cat?
Now he identifies as an Arab.
Wait,
So-
Palestine.
Yeah. Well, he wants freedom for every country in the world except Scotland. He's the only person in the world that I think has that point of view. Want freedom for every country in the world except Scotland. So the man that identifies as a cat now identifies as an Arab. So you've got to be careful to get the right identification these days with this hate crime bill, you know? Have you anything else to say about this, Davina?
Well, I decided that I was getting a lot of hassle on Twitter from everyone by all these people saying, you're going to get arrested for the hate crime, you're going to get arrested for the hate crime. But I also discovered that if you're a transvestite, you are count under the bill. So basically, at the end of the day, anyone turns around and says, oh, you're just doing that so you don't get arrested. I say, haha, I'm trans. If you say I'm not, you're going to be kicked me a hate crime. Bye-bye.
Well, I'll tell you, Davina, I remember the days when a trans sister was a radio.
Absolutely. You could say cranny in those days, and everybody thought you just couldn't get the right modulation. Similar these days.
Oh, jeez. Right, let's talk to Wendy about this. What's your take on this hate bill, Wendy? What do you think about it?
Firstly, I would like to say, even although Davina is a woman tonight, I've probably still got bigger balls on him. But anyway, I was actually waiting on Thursday. I was actually waiting on somebody phoning and using the hate crime against us at the bridges. I didn't expect it to turn out the way it has. I think it's kind of stupid if you can just make something up and phone the police and they have to deal with it, and then your details are logged and all of this carry on. But I think it's good if it's used in the right way, you know, to protect people. But the way it's going to get used, it's going to be exploited. It's loopholes and all of that carry on. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll speak to James now. James Morton, what's your take on this, James? What do you think about this hate bill that's been brought in on 1st of April?
I was listening to Hunza was on what's his name? Hard Talk this morning, which was about 4:30 this morning. I'm an early riser, and there's 3 criteria, and I can't remember what the 3 of them are, like, you know, to meet before it becomes, because when the guy, was it Steve something or other? I can't remember. Spoke to him about it, you know, basically what you were saying there about you're being a laughing stock, like, you know, and throughout the world. There's 3 criteria that you have to meet before it can be classed as a hate crime, and it has to be something like you have to offend, as in being you offend somebody. You have to something else, but the last one, I think, if I remember right, was it has to. You have to, how shall I say, what's it called? Wish I'd remembered it nearly. I wish I'd wrote it down. I'm getting as bad as Wendy with my memory.
Yeah.
And but there's three parts to it, as it been before it becomes a hate crime.
Right.
That is the basics of it, like, you know, as I say, there's other 2 parts, covers the legislation that they've got now, right? But the third one takes it over, you know, into this third category, like, you know, because they even talked about J.K. Rowling when she says, whether she said something like, I can't remember what she said, but she hated something, and she's not reached the third threshold, right? And the police are
She's against the
investigating.
transgender thing, isn't she? I think that's
Sorry?
I think she's against the transgender policy that's been brought in by the SNP. The transgender thing. I think that's what she's against.
Yeah, but there was some, you know, as I say, it was just the fact that she was saying about the, well, sorry, he was saying to the guy who was doing the interview, there has to be 3 parts to it, you know, to meet the criteria for it to be a hate crime. You know, I believe that either whether it be some of the resistance or AA and others have put in a complaint about Hunza's past remarks regarding white people.
Yeah, that could be construed as a hate crime the way he ranted on. I mean, that was horrendous.
But according to Hunza,
Yeah.
to a certain extent, he's right. The fact that, I mean, when he was mentioning there was what white people, what they say, just for saying, head of the police, head of this, head of that, you know, so on and so forth. How many either black or, shall we say, Asian people are
This is a
heading
white
these
country, it's not Africa.
organisations?
This is a
Sorry?
white country, though. I mean, it's a European country. The majority of people are white.
Correct.
The majority of people are white.
Yeah.
If you go to South Africa, the people in the positions are black people.
They are now.
Yeah. Well, they are now, ever since apartheid ended. But all I'm saying is that, I mean, it's crazy to say that this person's white, that person's white, because it's a white country that we're living in.
True.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Also,
on your way.
Sorry, like, see with the hate crime.
Yeah.
And that's what I think comes into where, like, I have no problem with people who want to be whoever, but I do, however, have a problem with, no harm to you, Dave, somebody that looks like Davina trying to get into the toilets, and if I say anything against it, well, that could be classed as a hate crime. So, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a problem with that as well, Wendy. I don't believe that if you're born male, you should be allowed into a female toilet. No way. Absolutely.
Understandably, if somebody's went through the full transition, or even they're living like that for a wee while, if they're identifying as a woman, and I'm sorry, but and they have to lot of women, but no for somebody that's just exploiting the law and just going into the toilets, because I will have a problem with that, and that will be classed as a hate crime.
Yeah, that's crazy. Right, okay, Davina, what you got to say about this?
It's just one thing that Wendy said a little was a bit bigoted, saying that she had bigger balls than I've got. I've got bigger tits than you've got.
That's true, Dave. That's true, Davina.
Listen, you try to get us shut down, man.
Man, bigot.
They'll be blocking us.
Wait till I just prove it.
Hey.
Too bad.
Oh, don't go too far.
Too bad.
Listen, it's just as well as not on YouTube or even talk about it. Right, is that all in the hate crime thing? Come on. Right.
Well, the only other thing is,
Aye.
regarding the hate crime, I hate it.
So they are. Hate crime bill is hated by everybody. Well, nearly everybody. Except guys that want to identify as women that want to go into women's toilets. Right, let's move
Transphobe.
on. Are you transforming into Dave Llewellyn? Right, let's move on to the next subject. Last week, James and Wendy were at an event in Kilmarnock putting banners on a bridge, and these coppers turned up and it got a wee bit out of hand, and James was arrested. Do you want to tell us, guys, what happened? We'll start with James. What happened here, James? How did this all happen?
Well, as I say, me and Wendy were just doing our usual on a Thursday, you know, having a good chat to one another, flying our flags at, 5 at one side, 5 at the other side, the Glasgow side and the Kilmarnock side. We were talking away, and then, as usual, I've got my back to the Kilmarnock side, and Wendy says, here's the police coming. And they stopped. 9 times out of 10, they drive by. Right? No problem. Sometimes we give them a wave, Anyhow, as I say, this one stopped. And they come walking straight over to Wendy. Right? I was standing to the left, and Wendy was standing to the right there. And
was that the far right?
No, it wasn't the far right. It was just the right.
He says, he comes straight up to Wendy and went, I spoke to you a fortnight ago or something, he says. Right? And I butted in and I went, excuse me, who are you? You're meant to introduce yourself. It's part of your policy. You never asked me to introduce myself. I says, I shouldn't need to. I says, you should come up here and say, I'm PC Smith Jones or whatever. I says, and, I'm up here in a complaint or whatever it may be regarding whatever they've been informed about. So it started off that way, and then he directed his attention towards me. And he says, you're basically breaking the law. We're having these flags, poles attached to the railings here in the bridge. I says, no. I says, it's not illegal, I says, we're not breaking any laws, And he had to wait, and his colleague, the woman one, who never ever introduced herself, but we've got her face in the video, and he started directing his stuff at me, and he says, want your name and address, your date of birth. I says, you're not getting it. You know what I mean? I said, I'm only obliged to agree it basically if I've broken the law. And by this time, she's looking up whatever it was, something to do with the Road Traffic Act.
Mhm.
So then he looked at it and he says, under section 13 of the Road Traffic Act, Scotland, it's an offence to fly, blah, 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 blah. Right? And I'm sort of peering there, I've got my glasses on, like, you know, well, they were sunglasses. No, that I could have seen it anyhow, like, you know. So he turned around and he says, "Are you going to give me your name?" I says, "No, you're not getting it." They went, he says, "Well, arrest you." I says, "Well, go ahead then." You know. So next thing, and I'm videoing him with my phone. Now, I've got my back to the railing. I'm videoing him. Wendy's videoing from the side, right, and getting all the interaction there. So I've really only got him on that camera, right? On the because I started videoing him from coming across his car. Anyhow, he says, right, and he went like that, and he grabbed my phone, like, you know, and it grabbed my thumb at the same time as he took the phone. I says, "That's assault," you know, and I says to her, she says, "It's no assault." I says, "Aye, it is," you know. And I says to, when he put the cuffs on me, I says to Wendy, I says, "Wendy, get my wallet out of my back pocket," because it had some ID in it, like, you know. I didn't want them to get it, you know. Because as I went all the way, if it wasn't for my wife, like, you know, what her problems she's got. So I says, "Get me." And as Wendy went to get it out of my back pocket, she got pushed either with him or her. You know, I'm not sure which one pushed you. Which one pushed you?
Him, he barged into me.
What?
Him, he barged into me.
Right. Okay, so he barged into Wendy. So
This is on
that's
film.
assault.
This is assault on film, isn't it?
Yes,
on
it's
film.
all caught, you know.
Yeah, right.
Have you not seen it, James?
I have seen it. Yeah, I have seen it. Yes.
Right.
But
So
just point out it is assault.
yes, that's what I reckon. So as I say, he took me over to the car. Wendy was still filming. That policewoman must have been near Wendy, and I never heard what was said because I'm out of the car. But sorry, him and her took me out of the car. They sat me in the car, door open. I says to him, "You need to release these cuffs a bit, like, you know." I says, "They're digging into me, like, you know." So it may be hard to see on, but I gave Wendy I sent Wendy a photograph.
A video.
It's very, very difficult to see, you know.
Is your wrist all bruised then?
Yes.
Aye,
Yeah.
I'll send you the video, James.
Aye.
You know.
Yeah. That's
So,
awful.
but it didn't show up to him a couple of days later. I never even noticed
Yeah.
it on Saturday when we were up at Arbroath, you know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, as I said, so I sat in the car and he tried to release it, like, you know, he released it once, I think, like, you know,
But
but it still caused this, like, you know. And he went like that. "You're going to give me your name and address?" I went, "No." And she's, "Right, you're going to Irvine Police Station." Right, and then I says to him, I says, "I'll give you my name and address under duress if you let me go." You know. No. He wasn't having it, you know, under duress, like, you know. So I even says to him, "I'll delete the video, right, if you let me go." Because what I do not understand is, I don't understand this part. The part is that how can they keep my phone for evidence of what me filming him,
That is very strange why they've
Which-
kept your phone.
which is not against the law,
Yeah.
right? You can film anything in public, right? There is no privacy in public,
That's right.
you know. But anyhow, as I say, that eventually, as I say, he let me go, you know. and as Wendy says, one point they said they were going to report at the PF, and I'm like, aye, whatever. You know, as I say, I would hope it goes to court. You know.
So they didn't take you to the police station then, James?
No, just sat in the car. You know,
Right, okay.
must have said there's that old guy. He must need a seat. So,
But they did take your phone.
yes,
Aye.
And they held on to it.
stole my phone.
They
In my
stole
opinion,
your phone. Right. They stole
Yes.
your phone.
you know, and that's what I put down in my report to the police complaints commission. Right, they were on the Friday morning. I think it was Friday. No, it must have been Friday afternoon. They get in contact with me, and when I spoke to the guy, I says, "You the guy I spoke to before?" And he went, "Aye." Now I complained about this lot before the
His partner.
what do you call them? The driving lot. What do you call them? The road traffic police.
British Transport Police.
I says to them, sorry.
The British Transport Police.
No, they're not.
Are they not?
No, they're
The
not.
Traffic police.
Traffic cop.
They're the traffic police. You know,
Aye.
they would go to a road accident. British Transport Police when they go to a road accident.
Right.
You know. But anyhow, as I say, that the guy, nice chap, 2 or 3 times we had a bit of crack, like, you know, a bit of laughter, like, you know. Because I'd complained about somebody quite a few months back, stopping in the brow of the bridge, causing tailbacks of traffic, right? First of all, there is no road markings there, right? But it's still not courteous where this police had stopped, like, you know. Because I'd said to him at that time, I says, why didn't you get into where we park, like, you know, I says, and then walk back to us, and he went, walk? I went, yes, walk, like we do. You know, we get into a wee bit, park the car up, and walk up the hill a wee bit, like, you know, and that's us on the bridge, you know.
Yeah, but what happened once the police went away and we thought they were away, and next minute they parked in the brow of the bridge again, and they came out, and I went, what is it now? We're holding the flags. And they went, it's no that. You get your motor moved. You're parked in the pavement. And this bit is going down to Gray's Fuels, and it's an old footpath. And you can't even see the footpath properly because it's covered in rabbit shit, leaves, bits of tree, everything like that. But this postman was just being a dick, basically. And Jim says to him, if you go up to any of the schemes, you'll see that there's motors parked on the pavement. He went, you just get it moved. But sorry to butt in, Jim.
Right, on that point with Wendy's saying there, like, you know, she's right. Just to an extent, she said, you know, so what I did, I started to walk away, you know, to get down to move my car off the pavement, which it was on, right? But it was
it's disused.
If you're there, I don't know whether you'll come at some time, like it'll be this Thursday or whenever, James. But if it at this particular point, this place, there's big tankers come in because he says it's Gray's Fuels. So I took it away right out the road, sort of thing. And this footpath, right, lasts for about 20 feet or something, right? And then there is no footpath, right? Because it's not a place that you go to, you know, it sells maybe like bottles of gas as well, and maybe paraffin and stuff like that, like, you know, that Joe Public would go to. But they would go there with a vehicle. They wouldn't go there walking. They go and get a gallon of petrol or diesel or whatever, or a canister of gas, you know. So at the footpath, yes, it's there for about 20 feet. And as I say, they don't. So, I mean, I know what's happened because he's went searching, right? He says he's been down there and turned and clocked the car. He's done a PNC check on my motor, right? Because it's got stickers all over it, like, you know, about end run London rule and so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
So he's went, that's his motor there, like, you know, and it's like a double check that they've checked
Right.
on where I tell them where I stayed, you know, so that
Aye.
would flag up, you know, and that's when they come up, you know, and says, and then after what Wendy says, I says, by the way, I says, see this road here? I says, you saying I can park here? He went, yes. I said, that's fine. So I went down, got my car and parked in the brow of the bridge. Well, not in the brow of the bridge, I parked in the bridge, like, you know.
Uh-huh.
So what
Yeah.
I was hoping, if there was a slight convoy, whatever you want to call it, come Thursday, right, that we all parked on the bridge, right? Now that would
Yeah.
cause some congestion, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they would be out, but they say, well, the traffic police says that we can park here. There's no road markings to stop us, right? And about the fact that the guy the week before, the police a week before, saying we weren't doing anything illegal, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys something. They put you in the police car, James, and it looks like we're going to take you to police station, right?
Right.
Did any of you guys, either you, James, or you, Wendy, did you see this guy go on the phone and phone the police station?
No,
you see-
and I tried to get her badge numbers. I tried to get a photo of her badge, and she put her hand over it. I wished I'd took the bloody photo with her putting her hand over it. So I said,
Aye.
it's fine. I'll get your regi number. So I took a
But
picture.
we've got a face, Wendy. It's don't worry about it.
Aye, I know, but it was just the fact that, see, even if I get a photo of her putting her hand over her badge, over her numbers, which she shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So
He come over.
what are you getting at, James, when you say there?
What I'm getting at is this: they put you in the back of the police car with the
Yeah.
intention of taking you to the police station and charging you. That's what they
threat,
had in mind.
the threat of taking me to there, yeah.
Aye. So what I'm thinking is he may well have phoned back to the police station and maybe spoke to a senior officer who has decided, no, don't bring them to the police station, just let it go. But did he end up saying to you that they were going to report it to the Procurator Fiscal? Is that how it
Yes.
ended?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Huh?
Right. Okay.
Um,
Anything else to say on this one? And then we'll have the view on it.
He had an attitude for the start, so he did. We had met him before, and he was with this other policeman.
I hadn't met him before.
Yeah. Right.
You did, Jim?
No, I never.
Oh no, you were. Were you there when he threatened to rip down the flags? Aye,
No,
you
I was
were.
up in I was up in Pitlochry.
Well, he had threatened to rip down the flags. This was at the other
Uh-huh.
time,
Yeah.
and I was like myself, "You're not ripping my fucking flags." So I bent down to untie it, and because we
Uh-huh.
had them in a different position at the time, and we didn't have them on the flagpoles. We had them attached to the actual bridge, but still not permanent, may I add. So as I bent down to untie them, he says, "You can fly a Union Jack if you like." And you could see his tattoos. You knew where he stood. And as I was bent down, he says that, and I had says, still bent down, "Oh, don't need to worry about that. We wouldn't fly a butcher's apron." And he
Uh-huh.
bent down into the side of my head, and he says, "And what's that?" So I just
Uh-huh.
stood up in his face, and this is a blood-soaked rag that's went into the
Aye.
country and pillaged it, and he went to. So that was the first dealing with his partner.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so I had got Jim's wallet eventually and his keys, and I had refused my ID. And so I was crossing the road with Ushin as well to get the flags done. And she says, "Well, we need to get your ID now because you've taken note of that you've took his property." And I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." So I tell her my name, tell her my address. She asked if I was originally from Kilmarnock. I said, "Still, that's all you're entitled to ask." So at that, I crossed the road and I was starting to take the other flags down, and I was raging, right? But I had walked over to Jim to see if he wanted his bus pass in case he had to get the bus back to the police station.
Right.
That policeman says, oh, he doesn't need it. And I thought to myself, well, that's good then, he's getting it. So
Yeah.
I walked away, and he says, the both of you will be reported to the Procurator Fiscal. And I was like, what? And I says, see you, and I was pointing at the woman. I says, you're nothing but a liar. I says, you says you wanted the details because I had his wallet.
Yeah.
So I was raging. So I had walked away and I was unrolling another flag, and then my anger, I'm shaking my anger now actually. And I walked back down and I was like, you think you're a fucking peacock with your feathers ruffled? Sorry folks, but that's what I said.
But you
I
never
walked
swore, you never swore.
Yeah, I did, Jim. I did.
I never heard you swearing.
Next time I'll do it louder then. And so I walked away and get the flags down, and then the police buggered off. Jim came over and he says to me that twice he had to ask him once he had to ask him to unloosen his cuffs. And then, did you ask him again, Jim? Yeah.
Nice, that.
I asked him again, and then, as I said, they had been doing. I tried to get her photo, her number, and she covered it, so I got a photo of the reg. Then I thought they were away, and as I say, it was like 5 minutes later, they turned up again, and that was when they stopped, and it was just move your motor. But see, every single week we have a certain bin lorry that gets passed, right? And they shout abusive things at us. Obviously, as a unionist, we've been called terrorists as well by them. Well, I was so angry with the police, I was like, fuck you, I'm reporting you to the council. So I got the first 4 bits of his licence plate, which actually wasn't any use because most of the bin lorries have that. But they can find out who it is, and the woman spoke as if she knew who it was. So I reported him because he shouldn't be acting like that when he's got a council uniform on or driving a council vehicle. Now, I wouldn't normally, because we've put up with that for weeks and weeks, haven't we, Jim?
Yeah.
But on that Thursday, I thought, no, I'm flaming getting you. So so we're hoping that with a few folk coming this Thursday, we've got plenty of flags for you to hold if you happen to go on. And it's 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock. This will be our last Thursday for a month, because Jim's going on holiday to Benidorm with his wife.
No, I'm going to Tenerife.
Oh, sorry, I've been telling folk Benidorm. Tenerife, somewhere warm anyway. So I'm going to have a month off, only because I can't expect folk to be there all the time and come and get the flags. And I've got a lot of decorating to do, so I'm going to get on with that while Jim's enjoying the sun.
Well, that's good. Well, listen, to everybody that's listening in, if you can make it, join James and Wendy in Kilmarnock. Could you give them directions where it is? Is it near the centre of Kilmarnock?
It's the London Road Bridge.
Excuse me. Don't listen to Wendy. Wendy's got no sense of direction.
All right. Okay.
Right.
Don't invite him on again.
See what I mean? Look.
On you go,
My
Jim.
sisters have got to stick together.
She'll be arresting you in a minute.
I know, Jim hates me.
Sorry?
Jim hates me, I'm telling.
I hate you. Oh, aye. Oh, is that a hate crime?
Aye. You were going to say Grey's Fuels. Put that in, and you'll find us, weren't you?
Yes. Well, I was going to say that if they come down the bypass, it's basically if they go up to, what's the name of that roundabout, Wendy?
God, I don't know. You're the driver, Jim.
It's a very large roundabout.
What's the guys? You should have done your homework. Had postcodes and everything.
I know.
The M77 come over Junction 6.
But it's London. It's London Road. London Road, Kilmarnock, as I say,
What bus is it, Jim?
sat nav, either on your phone or in your car, you'll find it no bother,
But listen, there's a bus, Jim, that takes you that way. It stops just before the bridge. What bus is that? It's a Hurlford bus, and what else?
But they're no a Darvel bus, but they're no coming by bus, they're coming by car.
Just in case there is people coming by bus, we've got to give them options.
Like
So it's a
whom?
Darvel.
Give 'em options.
Well, listen, there's a bus, Jim, that takes you that way. It's a Hurlford bus, and what else? Just in case there is people coming by bus, we've got to give them options. So it's a Darvel.
Like whom?
Right, it's in London Road. It's in London Road, right?
Come on.
That's what I've got so far.
Yeah.
You have what's the nearest postcode? Could you get that? Can you find out the nearest postcode?
Hold on, I'll look up Grace Fuels the right.
Look up while you're looking up the postcode. Let's have a wee word with Davina on your take on this.
Well, my alter ego, when he was Dave, started Bridges for Indy 7 years ago, and James has been the first person ever to get arrested. And it would have to happen by some bastard from Irvine. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but Wendy can do it, so why not? So, basically, what happened on that bridge was an absolute travesty. When I say travesty, I don't mean transvestite. What happened was the guy came down and said, look, in my opinion, those flags are permanent. And then, after all the stuff that happened, the woman came up and says, okay, you got to take them down now. How in hell's name can you take down something that's permanent? If it's permanent, it's going to be bloody welded to the bridge, not tied on with a cable tie. So at the end of the day, they said they were getting arrested for putting permanent fixtures up, and it asked to take them down. Make your bloody minds up, assholes.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Right, okay, folks, have you got a postcode there for us, Wendy?
No, my phone's slow as anything, but you can get a Hurlford bus or a Darvel bus, and through the programme, hopefully my phone will load up. But folk have probably got it quicker than me. Grays Fuel, Kilmarnock, they can stick it in the chats. This is so much pressure. I'm hot flushing. Oh, hang on. Reject.
It's the only time that you're hot then.
You're right.
I can relate to that hot flushing. I've got my menopause.
You can relate to that.
There you go, folks. Join James and Wendy. Join James and Wendy on the bridge this Thursday, 10 a.m. Although we've not got the postcode, I'm sure you'll find your way there. What to do is contact the Scottish Resistance. I'll try and find the postcode. Contact James or contact Wendy. Contact the Scottish Resistance. We'll pass on the details to James or Wendy as well. That's all the different ways that you can contact us. Try and get.
Or you could just follow your nose and follow the smell of bacon.
Very good. Right. Have we anything else to say on this subject tonight, guys?
No.
What about the folk that have seen the video, right?
Yeah.
And it's clear to me anyway, and other folk that have seen it, that you guys were assaulted, right?
Correct.
Should we, individuals that see the video, should we report it as a hate crime and an assault on you guys?
Well, as I say, I have reported it as an assault and theft to the Police Complaints Commission.
Yeah.
Well, you've got the police.
And I know that others have done that as well. You know that
let's get more to do it. Let's get more people to do it. Let's really shake them up. See, a lot of people put in a complaint, a police complaint, that it's assault against you two guys. Plus, they stole your phone.
Yeah.
Let's, as many people as possible, put in a police complaint.
What was the guy's name? Benny Hill.
What's the copper's name again?
Benny Hill.
Stephen Johnson or something.
Martin Johnson.
Martin Johnson.
Yeah, Martin Johnson. Right, guys.
Right. I've got
his lodge number.
I've got a postcode, folks.
Oh, you've got a postcode. Fire away, Wendy.
Fucking lost it there. KA3 7DD.
That's right.
Kilo Alpha 37 Delta Delta.
That's brilliant, Wendy. People will be able to find.
Seven Davina Dave.
I've just said that.
Davina Dave. I like it. Right. There we go, folks. If you want to come and join James and Wendy on the bridge this coming Thursday, please get in contact with myself and the Scottish Resistance, or James or Wendy. If you get in contact with me, I'll put you in touch with James and Wendy. Let's get as many people as we can there on Thursday. And also, if you can, look at the video, and if you think it's assault like I do, put in a police complaint. Put in
Can I-
a police complaint. That's what
Can
to
I
do.
just add something, James?
Yeah, sure.
So there's one of the posts that are set to public, and I think only 2 people have commented on it. Please watch what you say on that post. It's the only one that's set to public. So just
Yeah.
watch what you say on it for me, please, will you? There's
Yeah,
reasons
but-
behind it that it's getting looked at, so that's why I don't want nobody to comment
Yeah.
on it.
Fascist.
Yeah. Fair enough then. Okay,
Yes.
listen, guys, we've got to move on. We've still another couple of subjects to do, and we've also the history section to do. So, well, I was going to spend more time explaining about the history this week, but obviously I'll need to condense it because we've 2 subjects still to go and only a quarter of the show left. So I'll condense it down. This week we're talking about the Declaration of Arbroath that was signed by our ancestors on 6th of April 1320. Now, a number of Scottish patriots were up at Arbroath Abbey on Saturday, and what a day that was! That was a fantastic day. I know that Dave or Davina was there and did a wee speech. I did a wee speech. Wendy did a wee speech, and we had lots of people there. And after we were at the Abbey, we moved on down to the statue as you're coming into Arbroath, and lots of people gathered round that statue, and we got lots of good photographs, and we had a gigantic saltire there as well. And all the cars that were passing by, lots of them were tooting and all the rest of it. What a brilliant day it was, guys. It was fantastic. So that's it. We're remembering the guys that signed the Declaration of Arbroath, 6th of April, 1320. As long as 100 Scots remain alive, we will never subject ourselves to the dominion of the English. So it was great that these Scottish patriots come out to remember the Declaration of Arbroath. Now, moving on further in history, but the same date, the 6th of April, a great Scottish patriot died on that day, Willie McRae. Many people, myself included, think that this man was murdered. His car was found in a road up the Highlands. I can't remember what road it was. A something or other. What was it? Can't remember the road it was. But anyway, his car was found. He was slumped down with a gunshot to his head, but the gun was about 200 feet away. So how somebody could commit suicide with a gun 200 feet away, God only knows. They put it down to suicide. They put it down to suicide, guys. It was not suicide. This guy was bumped off by the British establishment. That's what most Scottish patriots believe happened to this guy. He was telling a lot of people that he knew something very important that was going to cause a lot of bother to certain people in high places. And unfortunately, he was bumped off. And I don't know about you, don't you think it's very mysterious how he was bumped off on the 6th of April, the date of the Declaration of Arbroath?
Yeah.
And it's very strange, that. I think it's very strange. So there we go. Is anybody got anything to say on either the Declaration of Arbroath or the Willie McRae murder?
I just want to give Brian and Caroline some credit too for Saturday Saltire events.
Definitely, yes, absolutely.
Event as well, because it was a fantastic day.
it
And
was
as you
fantastic.
say, obviously Willie McRae was murdered. He was. That's what the establishment do to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's umpteen people that have been murdered for. Look at that, Dr. David Kelly that pointed out there was no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Next thing, he ends up dead.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not the only one. There's others that have been bumped off because of what they know.
And I know he's not been bumped off, but look at Julian Assange. You know the way that he's been treated, for telling the truth.
On the bright
Absolutely.
side, it's 11 years since Thatcher died.
Yeah. Can I just, while I remember it, see if you, it's up to James right enough to organise it, whatever. But see the Scottish Resistance one, now that we
Uh-huh.
know that the Stone of Destiny is back in Perth Museum,
Yeah.
what do you think of an idea to go in there
Steal
with a resistance flag? I know you've got to book it.
But what about the fact that a lot of patriots don't even believe that's a real stone? There's so controversy over that stone, whether it's the correct stone or not, you know.
Well, the fact that they've got it there and
Uh-huh.
they're you've got to make an appointment to
Yeah.
view it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, let us believe that at this moment in time, as far as we know, that is
Right.
stone. So,
Yeah.
but it has to be organised that whoever is actually going, whether it be 1 or 10 or whatever, right? I don't know how long the interval is, as in being between, let's say you're allowed 5 minutes or whether you're allowed 10 minutes. I don't know, right? But it's maybe something to look into, James, like, you know, if you're, because I'll be there in the front with you, you know.
We have got a meeting, a Scottish Resistance meeting at the weekend, so I'll bring that subject up at the meeting. We'll see what people think about it.
Yeah.
I don't reckon they'll let us in. Can you imagine us all turning up?
No, they'll try and stop us. They'll try and stop.
They'll let me in.
Yeah, they'll let you in. Yeah, you'll be okay.
Pete Wishart loves trans people.
Otherwise, you'd be discriminated against.
Exactly.
That's right, yeah.
I tell you what, my mother was a turf, but now, although the apple doesn't fall from the tree, I'm a grass. So if anyone's, I'm going to call the police, or the next time I go to the sex shop to get my 18-inch double ender, I'll be on grass and all of you.
Right, folks, we'll need to move on from the history section to the third topic tonight. The Brit media, the TV, the newspapers, even Brits on social media, it's all attacking SNP. And the thing about it is, this is happening all the time, every bloody day. And you know what pisses me off is that there's no fight back. SNP, as they have now, they don't even fight back. They're just taking all this shit. What the hell is wrong with people? And yet there's people out there arguing with me, people that are SNP. I'm explaining to them that I've been with SNP since the 1970s and I'm pissed off with them. They said, oh, but we can't desert the SNP. But they've got shit policies and they're no bloody standing up for Scotland. What's happened to their independence view? They seems to have been put in the back burners. Nothing's happening.
But you got the GRA and you got the hate crime bill. They're doing lots of really good work for Scotland.
The hate crime bill, yeah. Right, okay. Right, Wendy, wish you're taking this as Brit media every day. They're attacks on SNP and the SNP are not fighting.
We know what the media is like. They're always going to attack us. They're never going to say anything nice, whether you're SNP or Alba or what. I do wish SNP would start fighting back and not accepting it. For me, walking out the Parliament, that would suit me. But I mean, but what's important for me is more so the members and other people. Look, let the politicians deal with it. Let them go on with it. Let them deal with the media and let us come together in a united front for independence, because no matter what we do, the media is not going to change. If SNP get up and fight back, that'll be great. Maybe even I'll join them again. Although I says I'll never join another political party, and I mean that, I won't. So just forget that statement. But let them get on with it, because at the end of the day, it's just a pantomime that's down there. They're never going to speak up, or I feel as if they're never going to speak up. But what's more important is the members are coming together. I mean, I don't even look at it as SNP members and Alba members. I look at it as the Yes movement. I don't look at it as divided like that. So I just wish everybody else would let the politicians get on with it. If they can't speak up, let us come together and show them how it's done. And maybe once we get that powerful force, we'll have that voice and maybe they'll listen to us and then maybe they'll do something.
Well, at the moment, politicians don't seem to be doing anything positive for Scotland. That's my view.
Right.
How do you guys look at it? I'll go to James first. What do you think?
Well, you're 100% right. As I say, I mean, they're just taking their money and that's it. Like, you know, they're doing a few statements, questions, whatever you want to call it, down in Westminster. I already had this discussion with Salmon, with Kenny McCaskill and Neil Hanvey at an album meeting about 2-3 months back in Edinburgh. And I told him, I stood up and I told him that I'll not be voting for any MP to go to Westminster, because I'm saying to the crowd, I says, they're ineffectual.
Yeah.
They've done nothing, you know, so...
Great wages,
Aye.
unlimited expenses.
Correct.
And I'll tell you something, there's folk like us who are spending their own money going out fighting the cause. Not a bloody penny comes back for all these well-off bloody MPs to help the folk that are actually fighting the fight for independence, the grassroots movement. We are the guys that are fighting the fight for independence, not these bloody fucking high-paid, unlimited expenses MPs. They're no fighting for independence. They're in a cushy number, folks.
But that's what I says to them at that meeting. I says, I don't know why he's there, because we want nothing to do with Westminster. We want rid of Westminster. You know, so, I mean, 50%, I reckon, of the people that were there, I got a good clap after them. And I wanted to carry on. We had another couple of questions. Right, and then all of a sudden my mic went dead, and I'm looking at it and I'm going...
They cut you off.
What's aye? And I'm like, what's that? Next minute, somebody's away with the mic. I'm like,
that's what politicians do. That's what they bloody do.
You know,
we can get independence without politicians. People need to wake up and realise this. All the countries, hundreds of them, like independence from Westminster, it wasn't the politicians that got them independence. Politicians move in at the end and claim all the fucking credit. It's when the people rise up, do enough protesting to break down the system of the imperialists, that the imperialists have to leave the country that they're occupying. The people have got to rise. People have got to bloody waken up and realise it's them that have got the power, not the bloody politicians.
But James, you're the same. Well, I think you're the same opinion me as soon as I say this, is that there's no point in us preaching to all the people that turn up, say, at George Square or Edinburgh or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Because these people, like ourselves, are the converted, as in being that that's what we want for our country, for people in the country, right? It's the thickles, you know, that can't see it, you know, as in being, you know, that, you know, if they were keeping 100% of the revenue rather than 60%, right? That other 40% can do better things for the people. I'm a believer of what they call UBI, Universal Basic Income. You know, we end up people every person has a basic income. You know, that they can pay their rent. They don't have to go to, oh, I need to go to the Social Security, or I need to go for pension credits, or they'll need to go to whatever, you know, to get help. You know. So if you can keep 100% of your revenue, they have to spend it in something. You know, so it would expand everything if you kept 100%. But as I say, I'm talking again as if I'm talking to people that's not converted, but we are converted, as in being that all we want for the country is autonomy for us, you know.
I think the dogs agree with you.
Right,
anybody else then to say on this subject, because we've still got one other subject to squeeze in at the end. Anybody else?
I would send all the journalists in Scotland and England, I would send them to Palestine, because they seem to have quite a good idea of getting rid of journalists over there.
That's true.
Oh, jeez. Right, okay then. Right, let's move on to the last subject for this evening. Was like us damn few and rodded. And that's the way I think Scotland is now. There's only a few solid patriots. The rest of them, even the ones that have been converted over to independence, they really need to wake up and do something, or we're never going to get independence. Sitting back, waiting in SNP and Alba is never ever going to work. It
Correct.
didn't work for hundreds of countries to get independence. It ain't going to work for us. We've got to get up and go out, and we've got to protest, break down the British system until they bloody well leave. We've got lots of supporters, guys, all around the world, in other countries. You see it when you come across places where there are tourists. Tourists all support us. People are supporting us. But we have got to get up as a nation and free Scotland. Anybody else anything to say on this?
Can I just say something that's in regards to the comments? The reason we go out and we fly flags and bridges and other people do it is for the visual impact. It's the same reason we do the marches. It's the same reason we hold events. It's a visual impact. And that was a good visual impact to us on Saturday because we even had the press there. If we didn't do things, they'd think we went back in our box and we just accept the union. Well, I don't. And I'll be out every single time. And if there's anything I can do, whether it's attend an event or help with an event, I'll do it. Because I'm not stopping until we get what we want. So for me, doing the bridges and everything else, it's all about the visual impact. And it makes folk feel great. See the yesers? It makes them feel great when they're going past to see us, because it makes us feel great when they're tooting their horns and waving to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Just to tell you, fine. See, you know, and if you want, I'll get arrested this Thursday again if you wish.
No, try not to get arrested, mate. we mentioned earlier we want.
I bet I can be first.
We mentioned earlier.
And then I can also be second. What Dave said earlier.
We mentioned earlier we want people to look at that video and put in a police complaint, because it's quite clear on that video that you guys were assaulted by a police officer. So it's important that as many people as possible put in a police complaint.
Well, you heard Peter on Saturday, who's an ex-superintendent.
That's right, he's an ex-policeman,
He was disgusted with it, you know.
Yeah, that's what he said to me as well. Peter's been with us for a while. He's an ex-policeman, that's right. Right, guys, we've come to the end of the show. I'm going to go around and speak to everybody and get their final points of view for the evening. Well, first of all, go to Davina. Davina Llewellyn or whatever. What's your final thoughts?
Davina therapist.
The therapist.
Did you say
I have one thing more to say. It's like,
yes.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?
Oh, jeez. Right, thanks for that. I take it the next time you're going to appear as Dave Llewellyn. Or is that you converted?
I can't answer that. Just I'm desperate to go for a gender fluid.
All right, okay then. Right, I'll let you go then. Right, Wendy, what's your final thoughts for this evening?
Yeah, just if you can make it, be in Kilmarnock 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock. You don't even need to stay the full 2 hours. I know what that's like standing for that length of time. Just come down, bring a flag, or we've got plenty of flags there. You can join us and let's make it look great on Thursday.
That sounds good, Wendy. And we'll go to James. What's your final thoughts for this evening then, James?
Well, I've really enjoyed my first meeting of the Scottish Resistance, like, you know, and I hope to continue it, like, you know.
That's good.
So, as I say, and as James has said, that there's a meeting on Saturday, and I hope they come up with some good ideas, like, you know, as I say, I have put one forward, and whether it'll come
we'll put that in at the meeting.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like it to. I think it would be quite a stunning one, like, you know, to be honest with you, like, you know, that if we can get there to, as I say, even if it's only two of us, you know, one at either side of the stone with the Scottish Resistance flag in it, you know, and that's the kind of thing that James is talking about. We have to resist them, you know.
Yeah, we've got to show resistance. We'll not get anywhere until we show some real strong resistance.
Correct.
Always remember, folk, the 4 people that went down to Westminster on Christmas Day 1950 and retrieved that stone, these guys went down in history. These 4 people will be remembered long after all these marches have passed by. These 4 people are remembered. Their names are down in history. They've done something significant for Scotland. So that's important. Only takes a few folk to do something really important for Scotland. So that's it for tonight, folks. It's been a great show tonight. We even had a sex change. Dave Lennon became Davina for the night. So there's only one more thing left to say, folks. This is the Scottish Resistance. We will never give up the fight for Scotland's freedom. Good
Correct.
night, folks.
Bye.
And thanks to Raymond, you know, for organising.
That's it. Thanks, Raymond.